Zvara here, creator of Core Functional Fitness, and I had a request from an avid viewer on YouTube to show you some wrist things. And so I think for many people, they come to yoga, they come to fitness, and they're looking to lose weight, to tone up, become more flexible. And we focus on these large skeletal muscles, or the main muscle groups of the body, and we forget about these little areas of the body that really can cause us a lot of day-to-day stress and pain. In particular, the wrists, the shoulders are another big one, even the lower back. And we a lot of times overlook them, hoping that they'll get better, but never really fully addressing them. As a yoga teacher, what I've noticed is that really paying attention to how to properly put the weight in the hands, which are some of the things I'm going to show you today, but then also taking some time in the practice to add in little wrist movements and little stretches for the forearms and wrists can really make a big difference for so many people in their practice. So what I'm going to show you today is a wide variety of movements and stretches, and how also to position your body weight appropriately in the hand and wrist so that you can build up strength properly in the wrist and forearm rather than creating more pain and tension. So first, what you'll need is either a small accu ball or a golf ball would also work really well, just to be able to roll out the hands. A lot of my students invest in one of these, and they actually bring them to work with them. They bring them to their marathons or their runs and races, and they roll out their feet, their hips, those types of things, but we're actually going to roll out the hands today. At a desk, you can just easily roll out your hand and using the mouse and the keyboard and feeling that strain. So we're going to take the accu ball between the hands, and I'm going to encourage you to try to roll through the line of the thumb as well as the center of the hand and the top part of the palm. So you can just pay attention and do one hand at a time, or you can kind of do both hands pressure against the ball. I know this seems really simple and silly, but these are really the things that make a big difference. And if you're someone that's claiming that you have arthritis in your hands, arthritis in your wrists, even something carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel is actually just inflammation in the carpal tunnel, and that's not a death sentence. You can actually relieve that tension by using things like essential oils, but also just making sure you're getting the right amount of flexibility in that area of the body. And then take that accu ball or that golf ball, and you're just going to hug the hands over the ball, create a nice amount of tension and pressure, and let's breathe here. Let's relax the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Great job. Nice work. Set that little guy off to the side. All right, some of these things are going to seem really basic. Other things may be new to you. Let's start with some wrist and arm releases. I'll show you both in the air and then also on the mat in a tabletop position. I'll work mirror image, extend out the right hand, fingertips towards the sky. You may have done this before, but what I notice is a lot of people don't take the thumb with. Since this is the joint into the carpal tunnel that for many people find that there's a lot of acute tension there, make sure you take the thumb with. As you press out through the heel of the hand, relax the shoulder, try not to let the elbow bend. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. So imagine as though you're Spider-Man and reaching out the web through the heel of the hand. And so just nice breath here. Relax the shoulder. You don't need to pull back fingertips to the forearm. Just go back till you feel something. It's not all or nothing. And then release that and turn your fingertips down towards the floor. Grab back on the top of the hand, not on the fingertips. Same thing again. I'm actually going to turn the fold of my elbow towards the ceiling. That rotation in the form is really important. It's what's going to give you that great stretch through the top of the arm rather than through the side. Again, relax the shoulder. You shouldn't be hiking. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Great, now release that wrist. Roll it out. Same hand, take your right hand to your heart like you're laying it right over your chest. Take your left hand, you're gonna come around and grab over the thumb. Place your thumb against the point just below the pinky finger on the palm itself. Now turn your hand open and resist the twist with your forearm. So I'm trying to turn my palm open, open, open away from my chest as I'm trying to turn my forearm back in towards my chest. So just a nice resistance. A twist is a really great way to help alleviate that tension, not just doing front to back or flexion extension. Play with your fingertips. Does that change that sensation? So nice calm breathing. And these are things that you can do, no excuses, at your desk, in the elevator, at a stoplight, at home watching TV. You don't even have to get off the couch. It would be nice if you would, but you don't have to. And so really, again, no excuses here. And then again, release the wrist. May feel a little stiff. Just roll it out till it becomes your own again. And we'll do the same thing the opposite side. Extend the fingertips up. I want to encourage you to hold the side that is maybe giving you a little bit more grief a little bit longer. So kind of implementing what I like to think of as a 2-to-1 ratio. It's something that Stuart McGill very much believes in, talking more about the core and back body, but we can implement that into any area of our lives. And again, draw back, reach out through the heel of the hand. If you're really tender and you're very new to these types of stretches, you may just be bringing the wrist to a 90-degree angle, and that's enough for you. So again, you don't have to go to the extreme. And if anything, I'm actually going to encourage you to not do that. I really need these today too, by the way. These feel really good. And then fingertips turn down towards the floor. Reach through the top of the hand. Again, spin the forearm up. Relax your shoulder. Reach out through the top of the hand. Inhale, keep breathing. Exhale, just try to pay attention not to hold your breath. And then now release the wrist. If you need to, open and close the hand, roll it out. They do get better with time. Left hand to the heart. Right hand scoops around to grab the cuff of the thumb. Thumb presses against the top of the hand near the pinky finger. Try to keep the wrist somewhat straight, and that will also aid in the stretch. And then again, as I try to open my right hand, your left hand, I'm going to resist the twist with my forearm. And this side for me is definitely more restricted. I'm right hand dominant, which is very common. Again, just nice, even breaths. When we soften from forcing, we usually are able to feel a little bit more, and then notice those tiny little pinholes or loopholes where we can work just a little bit harder, which is always so good. And then release, roll out the wrist. And again, I want to remind you that I'm showing you a lot of different techniques today. You do not have to do all of these all in a row. Just take a few. If you're a teacher, implement them even into your lunges, into your seated positions, into a cool down or a warm up. All right, now again, palms pressed together. Press your fingertips. Now lift your elbows as you push the heels of the hands towards the floor. Relax your shoulders. So try not to let the hands open up. Just nice deep breath in. And nice deep breath out. Now open your palms and reverse it so the tops of the hands come together. Elbows drop, and try to keep the tops of the wrists together. I'm going to bring my hands kind of close to my chest just for stability. And now drop your elbows, tops of the wrist pressed together. And again, depending on how much tenderness you're dealing with, if you do have some inflammation in the carpal tunnel, if your hands are very tender, you're coming off of an injury, you're going to have to be very sweet to your body and just give yourself permission to take some time to work on this. And then release. Again, open and close the hands, roll them out until they feel much more normal, much more open, hopefully. All right, great. Extend your arms out towards me, palms face in. Take your left fingertips, draw them over the right wrist. Now thumbs turn down, interlace your fingers. Try to keep the palms kissing as you draw the arms through. Now relax your shoulders. If you're a little bit tighter or if you're a little bit bulkier in the shoulders and upper body, this may be as far as you can go. The goal is not to fully extend the arms, it's to feel something. So keeping my palms kissing, I'm going to extend my arms out. Maybe this is as far as I'm going to go. If when I extend my arms out, my hands break out, you're going too far. So let up a little bit. Keeping your palms kissing, slowly extend, and now relax the shoulders and breathe. This stretch may go all the way through the forearm, possibly even into the shoulders. Try to relax from hunching. Inhale through the nose if you're a massage therapist. These are things you should be doing in between clients. Inhale through the nose, and again, exhale if you work with your hands a lot. My husband's in construction, and he's constantly working with these types of stretches. All right, let's release that. Uncross and recross. Lace your opposite fingers, so kind of the unnatural way. And now draw through. One side is typically easier. Usually, when your dominant arm is on top, it's a little bit trickier to get that through. Inhale through the nose, soften through the shoulders. Exhale, just hold that stretch. Breathe. See if you can mentally get involved enough that you can actually pay attention to the stretch softening. Feels really good. And then slowly release it out, roll out the wrists. Nice job. Let's just inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. And again, inhale, imagine your lungs like an umbrella. Opening that umbrella, exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Awesome, come to tabletop. So hands and knees. And I'm going to show you similar wrist stretches, but now in a tabletop position. So find neutral pelvis so you can really honor the lower back. We're going to start by turning the fingertips towards the knees, thumbs on the outside. Broaden your back, and I'm going to move my knees a little bit closer, and start to lean back towards your heels. So this may be pretty intense, so feel free if you need to, do one at a time. Some people find that doing one hand at a time and then actually using the opposite hand to bring pressure down onto the mat can give them a little bit better of a wrist stretch, or maybe a little bit deeper. So feel free to personalize as you need to. When I use these in classes, I just make sure I give my students all the options so that they can choose what best serves them. Inhale through the nose, just nice calm breathing. Exhale through the nose. Again, we forget about all these little nooks and crannies, and these are many times the things and the issues that many students have, but then they never say anything. Okay, stay with both hands as is. Now I want you to lift the heel of the hand off the floor by bending your elbows and keep the top part of the palm and the fingertips on the mat. This is a huge palm stretch and a huge wrist stretch. Just nice calm breathing. You may have to work up to this. Most of the movements during the day is closed fist. This is a huge stretch. Just nice calm breathing. My mom was in a car accident a few years ago, and these were some of the things I had her working on because she had a rod in her wrist and then had it removed. And then there was a lot of rehab for this, and so really stretching through the forearm and stretching through the palm was incredibly challenging, but she has worked towards a 90-degree angle now, so she's having huge success. But that was 4 years ago, so you really have to keep at it. Give your body permission and forgiveness. All right, slowly release and just kind of let your hands open and close. Let them come back to normal again. Roll them out. We are going to do the opposite. So tops of the hands onto the floor. Most people, this is really tender. They'll want to stay with bent elbows. I want you to lengthen those guys up and turn the folds of the elbows towards the top of your mat. Same thing again. I can go singly and press back, which may be easier if you're new to this and still trying to get your bearings as far as where your body weight goes. Or you can just work double. And again, 90 degrees is a good goal. I'm going to do my right hand a little bit more since this is a little bit tighter for me here. Nice calm breathing. If you're into lifting weights, that's a lot of tension on your forearm and wrist. Maybe something to consider. Are you doing wrist stretches? Are you releasing your forearms? I think regardless of what we do today, the amount of texting that we do and hand holding with cell phones and tablets, we do have a lot of strain in the forearms. Kids as young as 14 are being diagnosed with carpal tunnel, which is just outrageous to me. And so we really need to, again, honor this need to make sure that these areas of the body stay open. All right, sit back, let your wrist rest for a moment, roll them out. Again, get that sensation, expanding, open and close the hands, roll out the wrists. Great job. All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about plank. So with plank, where we put our weight into our hands makes a big difference, not only for wrist pain, if you are having wrist pain for whatever reason, but also for better shoulder placement. So when we come into plank position, for one, the folds of the elbows turn forward, and two, try not to have your hand kind of like you're cupping a bug on the floor. You have this great big hand, spread it out and get it nice and wide, just like a bird would do on a branch. As you step back into plank, modified or full, most people are sitting too far back. I want you to come forward with your body weight so that you're in your knuckles. And so as you bring your weight into your knuckles, broaden through your back, and make sure, again, the forearms aren't turning in and you're not hunching. So feel free to try that. Again, the weight should come into the knuckle line, not just on the heel of the hand. Same thing would be, let's say, in cobra. If I come down or up dog and I come up, a lot of times people's hands cup because they're too much in their shoulders. The weight should be in the knuckles and fingertips. So when you come up, drop your shoulders and push down into your fingertips. Drop your shoulders and feel the stretch of your spine. If you're an up dog, which is not a pose I choose to practice often, because typically people lock, folds of the elbows forward, the wrists have to be under the shoulders, and again, weight into the knuckles. I'm pushing down into my fingertips to erect my spine even more. When the weight is only on the heel of the hand, it's really stressful on the wrists, and we start to lose that sensation of stretch. So I'm pushing up and out. If you are tighter in the shoulder girdle, this isn't about up dog today, but you have a lot of kyphosis, up dog is not for you. I'm going to encourage you to keep the elbows bent, which is one of the reasons why I often don't practice up dog. Okay, on to something else. So let's say we're practicing lateral angle. I see a lot of people fingertip the floor. One, because they either one, can't touch the floor because their hips are too tight, or two, they might not want to use a block. But things like triangle and lateral angle are also meant to help strengthen the wrists. And so by getting a flat hand, whether it's on a block or on the floor, folded the elbow forward so the lung has room to rotate, we actually, again, are stretching and really creating some good space in the forearm and palm. Now I can choose to stretch up. I can also flex my top palm and drop the arm back, reaching through the heel of the hand. Now I have a great chest and pectoral stretch as well as into my fingertips, and I can definitely feel it. And then slowly lower the arm down and slowly drop the knee. So again, in those standing poses, we want that palm flat. If you have to fist and you don't have props, I totally understand, I get it, but if you're looking to strengthen the wrist, help with things like carpal tunnel, help with things like any sort of issues in the forearms and the tendons, ligaments, connective tissue, fascia, definitely, again, trying to get that hand flat and be able to work through that as well just a little bit more. Down dog is the last one I want to talk about. Just as we worked through before, fingertips nice and wide, folds of the elbows turn forward, and so as you push back, the weight is more into the fingertips. Think about pressing through your pointer finger and thumb, almost like you're trying to touch your pinky finger or lift your pinky finger off the mat. Now the upper back muscles have a lot to do with our ability to get into down dog, and so what you might want to try practicing first is puppy dog or dolphin with a block between the palms. That way we can start to train the shoulders to be more open. That way we're not collapsing into the underarm or we're stuck in that kyphotic position. I have a great video on down dog. Feel free to check that out on YouTube as well. All right, so I hope that some of these wrist issues can be resolved in your practice, and also you can start to feel the difference in your forearms and in your hands and wrists during the day. Many of these things you can do anywhere. You don't need a yoga mat, you don't need to be in yoga clothes, you don't even need to be a yogi, but rather someone that's looking to feel better. For more information, visit my website at hopezvara.com, and if you haven't yet, I really want to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube page, which is the page that you're viewing right now. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, namaste.